Thank you guys for coming to my channel. In this video, you'll be learning about adverbial clauses of reason. Before I get started, I just wanted to thank you guys for all of your love and support. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for liking my videos. And thank you for sharing my videos. And if you'd like to be a part of this lovely English community, please subscribe and we'll be happy to have you. How are you guys doing? What are you thankful for today? Today is one of those days where it's been hard for me to think of things that I'm thankful for, because I feel like a lot of things have been happening that I'm not thankful for. So it's easy for us to focus on the negative things. But I will say I do have a lot of things to be thankful for. I'm going to be starting college soon. I got approved for financial aid. My classes will be paid for, so I'm thankful for that. Got approved for housing. Actually, I was in a lottery, and my household got selected out of over 10,000 applicants, so I'm really thankful for that. And yesterday, me, my son, and my friend and her son, we went to the lake, and that was a really fun experience considering like all the bad stuff that has been happening lately. Just drama and my phone getting stolen like twice within the same week. So it was nice for us to just go to the lake and talk, and we walked the trail, and our kids played with each other and had a blast in the water. So that was nice. Another thing I'm thankful for is food. Like always, can't go wrong with food. Most recently I tried black plums, they always confuse me. The black ones look like the purple ones and the purple ones look like the black ones, but I picked one out yesterday and it just so happened to be perfect. Well, at least to me. My friend likes hers mushy, but the one I got was like hard and soft, and it was perfect to me. But I do like when they're juicy. It's been like years since I had a plum, because I'm more of like a grape type of person, cherry type of person, like strawberries sometimes, blueberries, mangoes, stuff like that. But I was like, you know what? Let me try a plum. It's been a long time. So that worked out in my favor, so I think I'm going to start eating plums again. I also got an orange because when we were at the lake, someone had sprayed something that smelled like citrusy, and it smelled kind of like an orange, and I was like, you know what, I want an orange now. But yeah, what are you guys thankful for? Feel free to let me know. In the meantime, let's get to the video. An adverbial clause of reason is a dependent clause that functions as an adverb to explain why something happens. This type of clause can modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. And for those of you that don't know what a dependent clause is, a dependent clause can also be called a subordinate clause. A dependent clause can have a subject and a verb, but it isn't a complete thought. Not every dependent clause has a subject and a verb, but most do. So here are some dependent clauses. So our first example says, when it stops raining. So notice how there's a subject, it, and a verb, stops, but this isn't a complete thought. Our second example says, because of the terrible weather. So notice how this doesn't have a subject or a verb, but it's still a dependent clause because it's an incomplete thought. Our third and final example says, after your basketball game, and this example also doesn't have a subject or a verb, but it's not a complete thought, so that makes it a dependent clause. Words we use to create an adverbial clause of reason: because, since, for, as, in that, and so on. First we have because. So our first example says, I walked to work because my car broke down. So the adverbial clause of reason is because my car broke down, and it's telling us why I walked to work. Our second example says, my mom yelled at me because I was misbehaving. Our adverbial clause of reason is because I was misbehaving, and it's telling us why my mom yelled at me. And our third and final example says, I didn't eat lunch because my stomach was hurting. So our adverbial clause of reason is because my stomach was hurting, and it's telling us why I didn't eat lunch. Next we have since. So our first example says, since I'm always late to work, I got demoted. So our adverbial clause of reason is since I'm always late to work. And this example is telling us why I got demoted. Our second example says, since my friend is mad at me, she won't be joining me for dinner. So the adverbial clause of reason is since my friend is mad at me, and it's telling us why my friend won't be joining me for dinner. And our third and final example says, I didn't do my hair today since my meeting was canceled. So our adverbial clause of reason is since my meeting was canceled, and it's telling us why I didn't do my hair today. Next we have for. Side note, the clause can only be at the end of the sentence when using for. Our first example says, she did her chores for she needed the allowance money. So our adverbial clause of reason is for she needed the allowance money, and it's telling us why she did her chores. Our second example says, I kept my mouth shut for I didn't want to incriminate myself. Our adverbial clause of reason is for I didn't want to incriminate myself, and it's telling us why I kept my mouth shut. And our third and final example says, the kids ate quickly for they were very hungry. Our adverbial clause of reason says for they were very hungry, and it's telling us why the kids ate quickly. And nobody really talks like this, but I guess it's good to know in case it does come up. Next we have in that. So our first example says he's very thoughtful and that he's always considering others' feelings. So our adverbial clause of reason says in that he's always considering others' feelings, and it's telling us why he's very thoughtful or how he's very thoughtful. Our second example says I'm an extrovert and that I absolutely need to socialize every single day. So our adverbial clause of reason says in that I absolutely need to socialize every single day, and it's telling us why I'm an extrovert. Our third and final example says your work ethic is incredible in that you completed 5 challenging tasks in less than 2 hours. So our adverbial clause of reason says in that you completed 5 challenging tasks in less than 2 hours, and this is telling us how or why your work ethic is incredible. If the adverbial clause comes first, you must put a comma after it. So our first example says, since my meeting was canceled, comma, I didn't do my hair today. Our second example says, because my car broke down, comma, I walked to work. And our third example says, in that I absolutely need to socialize every single day, comma, I'm an extrovert. So notice how in each example, we put a comma after the adverbial clause of reason. If the adverbial clause is at the end of the sentence, you don't need to use a comma. So our first example says, I didn't do my hair today since my meeting was canceled. Our second example says, I walked to work because my car broke down. And our third and final example says, I'm an extrovert and that I absolutely need to socialize every single day. So notice how in each example, the adverbial clause of reason is at the end of the sentence, so there was no need for commas. That concludes our video. If you found this video informative, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, or all of the above, and I'll see you next time.